So, before we get into it, this video is going to be a little interesting. This is going to be both a channel update, which is going to be quick, and then a book haul because I accidentally bought a crap ton of books. So, follow me after the title card and we'll go through all of this stuff. See you guys on the other side. Well, hello and welcome to Trash with a capital T, where we give trashy books and movies the love they truly deserve, and some deserve more than others. I'm your host, Bobby. New videos are posted here every Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you like what you see during the video, give me a like. Makes me feel good and it helps the channel. Also, if you like my content, subscribe. I could always use more subscribers, and we cover some wacky stuff. I am filming multiple videos today, and I just filmed one that's going to be out in July. It's the first video for July, which is a tentacle anime. It's actually a really fun video, and I like the movie. That it's not that movie though. It's actually this movie. That one right there. It's one of the ones on my wall. Let's see if I can point at that one. Reviewed that one, Angel of Darkness, the first episode. That's in July, so you got something to look forward to. But that actually ties into the little bit of channel news updates, upkeep to talk about. So on some of the thumbnails, you might start seeing something in the corner that the ones I have so far are divinely trashy. I have one called The Horrors of Youth, and I have another one that you'll not see until the end of June and early July called Spicy Cells. So these are playlist designations, but they're also series designations for the channel. So these are series that I'm going to always kind of have in the back of my mind that I'm going to be working on. Divinely Trashy is basically the Left Behind books, the Left by the Kids books, and any other kind of Christian or religious fiction that I do. Those will all fall under that playlist and that series. Horrors of Youth, all of the YA middle grade horror books that I have read, those are going to be in there. I might include some of the non-horror titles in there, because they still deal with plenty of humiliating and horrifying things. But that's going to be kind of that for those. And then Spicy Cells is, well, you'll see in June and the end of June and July. But you'll start seeing them. And actually, why don't I just pop them up? So let's see if I can make it aim when I edit. So Divinely Trashy, which you'll actually see this coming Sunday, I believe. That looks like this. And then we are going to have Horrors of Youth, which looks like this. You'll see that one before you will see the last one, Spicy Cells, which will look like that. Spicy Cells, C-E-L-S, like animation cell. And there'll probably be some other ones that'll pop up. I probably won't do videos to announce them, but just if you see in the corner of the thumbnail, that's what that means. It's part of the playlist and the series that video is a part of. My general videos will not have anything in the corner. They will just be Trash with a capital T videos. Okay, channel stuff aside, it's done. Let's get into the book haul. So I accidentally didn't realize how much I was buying through the month of March. So I ended up with a fairly large stack of books, and I thought, BookTube loves a book haul. I haven't done a book haul, so let's do this. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the plots of these books, but, you know, we'll go through and see how it goes. I've never done this before. So to start out, let's start with the horror, because that's actually probably my biggest stack. It's horror and probably like 90s YA books. So let's start with the man who started the channel. Actually, my first video was on one of his books. It was on Blood Games. Richard Laymon. So I found The Stake, this one, at a Half Price Books in my area, and I grabbed it because it was, if I didn't, Cameron Chaney would probably grab it because I live within a 100-mile radius of him, and you got to be careful. Don't get me wrong, I love his videos. It's funny because if you could tell when he's been to a used bookstore, the horror section and the kids section are usually cleared out. So The Stake, this one is about an author and his friends in a ghost town who go into a hotel and they find a coffin with a staked woman inside, and they're horrified, but the author, the main character, is compelled to try and pull the stake out. I've heard this one is actually quite good. I know this is one of the harder ones of the Laymon books to find. So when I saw it, I was like, crap, I gotta grab this. Hell yeah. And then because I couldn't just stop with one, I then decided to get one of his books that I wanted to get for a while. This one never actually got re-released in the US. This is Richard Laymon's Quake, which follows a bunch of people after a natural disaster, after an earthquake. And specifically, a woman is in a bathtub when the quake happens and she gets trapped, and her creepy stalker neighbor has been watching her, and he realizes she is now helpless. You also follow the rest of the members of her family as they are trying to get back home to her. This is a chunky one. I didn't realize how big this book was. I will say the font is not too small, and Richard Laymon reads fast, so I'm really looking forward to this one. But I have other stuff that I'm reading currently, so this one has to wait. But this is probably going to be very soon. And then I grabbed Darkness Tell Us, which is about a bunch of college kids who are sent on a treasure hunt by an Ouija board, and things escalate as only Richard Laymon books can. And of course, things go bad. There are probably lots of mentions of rumps. It's a guarantee with Richard Laymon. And then going from rumps, so if we're going to be in kind of that territory, so this is an author I have struggled with. And I want to give him a fair shot, but I don't think I picked up the best of his books. I have read one of his books. It was Incubus. And I liked it. It was small and it was kind of creepy. It had some really gross imagery that I thought was very fun and inventive. But then I tried his book Slither, and I hated the female characters instantly because they were just at each other's throat the entire time. So I heard this one was actually quite fun by him. Edward Lee's Flesh Gothic, which is basically his take on The Legend of Hell House. Where a bunch of paranormal investigators are going to a giant abandoned mansion that was once the site of a ritualistic orgy massacre, and horrible things happen, and at some point someone gets impregnated with something. So I am looking forward to diving into this one. Sadly, my copy is very wonky. I don't know. Actually, it's starting to straighten out, so I think it'll be okay. The spine is kind of like at an angle. I paid $4. It's perfectly readable. All of the pages are intact. The leisure books that came out in the early 2000s actually hold up really well. Plus, they're younger than a lot of the ones that I had, than like the ones we get from the 80s and 90s. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. But I do know I have to be in the right mood for this kind of book, because I did read part of this, and it is quite extreme. And I have to be in the right mood for extreme horror. So if I need something a little lighter, that is also why I'm picking up. I've actually read this book, but I picked up a copy because I didn't have one. And I've been reading Nightmare House, Douglas Clegg's Mischief, which is the second book in the Harrow series. I think it's Harrow. Hold on. Harrow, yes. Okay. I haven't read these books in forever. And the funny thing is I've read books 2, which is this one, 3 and 4 in the Harrow series, and I never read book 1. So I'm actually in the process of getting through book 1 now. But I saw this when I was out at Roundabout Books up in Troy, Ohio. And I was like, I got to grab it. I have to. I love Douglas Clegg. I actually own almost none of his books now. I think I sold them all when I moved to Ohio. And I'm kicking myself for that, because he is a great, great horror author. He's also a queer horror author. And I loved his stuff. I haven't read him in a long time. So after I finish Nightmare House, I'm going to jump into Mischief. And then I got to go back to my main man, John Saul. I've got 2 of his books, both in hardcover. This one is actually a book club edition book for John Saul's Hellfire, which is focused on, I believe, a haunted mill. And it follows 2 young girls. I actually don't know the plot. I read this eons ago, but I do not remember it very well. I remember liking it and thinking it was very fun, but I don't remember a lot of the details. So I really wanted to reread this one, because this is one of his harder to find, lesser known books. And I really wanted this in my collection, and I really, really wanted to give it a try. I don't think this actually has anything to do with Satanists or anything like that. I'm actually almost 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it's just his normal ghost stuff. And then the other one I got was a hardcover of Second Child, with a great look at him. Look at John Saul back in the day. He was a handsome guy back then. I'm sure he still is now. I just haven't seen a picture of him since, oh dear God, since John McCain was running for president. And this one is a young girl is going to live with her father, and I'm pretty sure the normal John Saul craziness ensues. I just grabbed this one because it sounded campy and fun, and I need campy and fun in my life. So I got this one as well. And that takes us out of the adult horror. I'm going to take a segue really quick. I did actually get something from one of my best friend over 30 years. He sent me Harlequin X Elvira issue 1. Yeah, I am looking forward to reading this. I am a huge Elvira fan. I'm trying not to grab her boobs while I'm holding this. I'm a huge Elvira fan. I grew up in the 90s, and she was everywhere. And being a horror fan, like, she was ever present. And my brother and I loved watching her movie. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to checking this out. So thanks, Matt. And now we're diving into the YA 90s books. So there's a kind of mix of horror and like non-horror in here. So the first one I'm actually currently in the middle of is Terror Academy Boy Crazy, which follows this woman named Shannon, she's a girl, she's a teenager, Shannon, who gets in with the wrong crowd and things go bad. Terror Academy is actually a YA series from the 90s that was kind of competing with Fear Street. I enjoy the Terror Academy books. They are darker, they hit harder, and a lot of them deal with weirdly attempted sexual assault, which is where I'm fearing this book is going. These books all kind of blend together in my head. I don't remember if I read this one back in the day. I might have, but for right now, I'm just going to say it's a new read because I don't remember it. But the main character, Shannon, is driving me nuts because she is making bad choice after bad choice. Oh my God. But if she didn't, we wouldn't have the book. So, okay. The other book I am currently reading is actually this. Okay. The cover of this one is really fun. You'll see when I show it, but also so far I'm like 3 chapters in and it's really fun. Like, I'm enjoying the book, and that is The Secret of the Dark, starring Courtney Cox. Yeah. This one, it's a windswept teen romance. So these were teen gothic romances. And this one follows, I forget the main character's name, Valerie. And she is going to visit her step grandmother, I think in Arkansas and in the mountains. And she's out there. She's so far met a boy, but eventually I think there's going to be an old murder that she gets involved in trying to solve. And of course there's going to be lots of mist and all of that fun stuff, all the stuff you would expect from a gothic. The funny thing is this font made me think it was going to be set in like Ireland. No, it's set in Arkansas. I think it's Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas. Okay. But it's actually really well written. It's written by Barbara Steiner. I think I might have read some of her stuff. She did some point horror, but this one flows really well. I was reading it out loud to the dogs, as I do that sometimes when I'm bored. And they seem to enjoy it, but I liked the voice of the characters as I was reading it. I sometimes read books out loud just to kind of get my head into the book. And I was very impressed with this one so far. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a short one, so. All right, next up, we're going to go into some that I really don't know anything about before getting into some of the more familiar stuff. So I was at Roundabout, and I found Vampire Kisses by Ellen Schreiber. I know nothing about this book. It sounds kind of Twilight-esque, but I think this came out before Twilight. And it just looks so campy and goofy that I kind of had to. And I do plan on reading this. I just, like, a family moves into town. They're most likely vampires. And this girl named Raven, who wants to become a vampire, starts chasing the boy around. And I'm sure teen angst ensues. So I'm guessing it'll be a fun time. If not, well, it cost me $1.50. All right. Keep on moving. This one, I actually got off of eBay because I've been interested in the series, but I've never really seen them in the wild. And that is Alone in the Dark. It's Babysitter's Nightmare Book 1 by Daniel Parker. And this is a teen girl is going to be an au pair for the summer at this wonderful mansion. But of course, there's a cult and all of this crazy stuff goes on. I kind of grazed through the first 2 chapters of this. The writing in this is actually really good. So I'm looking forward to digging into this one. Obviously, it's going to be a minute because I got a pretty stacked reading list, but I think this will be fun. The other interesting little horror one I got that I'd never heard of was a book called Maniac by John Peel. This is published by Archway, so this is from the same people who gave us Fear Street. And this, it sounds, it's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street coded, where it has to do with like dreams and people dying. And it sounded fun. It's the one thing with these books, I'm more likely to take a risk with these old YA books because they're so short. This is 200 pages and the type is huge. So like you can fly through these and they're enjoyable, especially when you need to get your head back in the game. So I saw the price for this one. I think it was $4 and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. I got it. You know, this is another one on eBay. It's like, yes, let's give it a try. I've never heard of this book before, but we'll see. We'll see. The reviews, I think I checked Goodreads and if I recall, the reviews were okay. But, and now looking at some more familiar material. Fear Street. So I got a Fear Street and I got a Fear Street Saga. So I got Fear Street, the New Boy. I bought this one basically because everyone was like, it has the highest body count. And I've been enjoying the later books in the series. And this is one of the ones towards the end of the run. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I don't know too much about it other than obviously there's a new boy and he might not be too nice. And the other one I got is Fear Street Saga number 3, Forbidden Secrets. Good old Gothic. I will say the interesting thing with the Fear Street Sagas books for me, specifically once it became, not the trilogy, but the main series, is these books got violent. Gothics in general were not always super gory. But the Fear Street Sagas, like when you think Gothic romance, I don't usually think like blood and guts. The Fear Street Sagas tended to amp up the violence. Of the ones I've read, I have not read this one. They get quite intense. I remember the New Fear, there's actually some pretty nasty deaths. And that one, Door to Death, which was ghostwritten by Eric Weiner, who did Deadly Detention. That one is really gory. There's some great fun ones in there too. Don't get me wrong. But that's one of the things that I'm always like. I like these because they're more intense, but they also try and do the Gothic romance thing. And it's always an experience. Sometimes a good one, sometimes a not so good one. But, you know, again, this is 150 pages, maybe. Yeah, under 150 pages. It's not a big risk to sit down and read it. So I always enjoy those. And then I saw, okay. We're into teen romance. We kind of covered teen romance with the one with Courtney, with the Courtney Cox one, but these I saw and the name Super Flirt. I don't even know what this book is about. I just saw Super Flirt. I saw that cheesy ass cover. It's a wildfire teen romance. It's probably not going to be great, but damn it, with a title like that, I'm going to give it a shot. It is by Helen Kavanaugh. And it just looks like a good time. It does. And that title, it's so 80s. I don't think this is 70s. I think this is 80s. Let's see. Scholastic published this. 1980. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. If anyone has read this or any of these kind of teen romances, let me know. I'm curious in getting into these, but I do not know where to start. And a lot of the ones that I've seen, like the Sweet Dreams books, do not really interest me. The Crosswinds ones looked interesting, but those are really hard to find. And the Windswept ones, that I have another one that I've had for a while called House of Fear that looks good. But I don't know much about these. So if you know about these, if you have an idea about these, let me know in the comments, because this isn't a genre I'm interested in getting into, but I don't want to like dive in because some of these books are not cheap. And also it's really hard to find them in good condition because they're old. I mean, this one's 46 years old. So sorry for bumping my mic. And then last, I found this at Roundabout, which is book 1 of River Heights, which is basically like Sweet Valley, but in the world of Nancy Drew. So I saw it, grabbed it, and I cannot wait to read this. Again, because I live in a 100-mile radius of Cameron Chaney, I grabbed it before it went missing and I never got a chance to read it. And these, I think they're not too expensive online. So I could have grabbed it anyways, but I saw it on the shelf. I'm like, I need to get this. I need to try this out. So I grabbed it. All right, let's get into the last ones. This is more just miscellaneous and some newer books. So I've been curious about men's adventure fiction, and the bookstore that I keep talking about, Roundabout, has a bunch. They have like a spinning rack with a bunch of the Mac Bolan books. And I saw this, and it's like a drug dealer in the tropics, and the owner of Roundabout was talking about this. He's like, they're always fast, they're fun. they're really violent and gory and goofy. And I was like, I got to give it a try. And then I didn't even realize I got like one of the special edition ones. So Mac Bolan is The Executioner. So those books are actually pretty widely available. This one I don't think has been reprinted because this is not actually written by Don Pendleton, the original author. This is written by someone else, and I don't think his name is going to be in the book. Charles McCade is the author, I believe, because I think this is after Don Pendleton passed away. So this just gave me 90s movie vibes, and I'm like, heck yes. Yes. And in that same trip, I also saw something else that was really interesting and that I've never seen before. And it's called The House Called Sakura. I really butchered that. The House Called Sakura. This is a Mills and Boon, so this is actually a British. This would be released here under Harlequin, but this is a British edition from the 1970s or 60s, possibly. This sold for £1, which back then was actually probably quite expensive. Let's see. When was this published? It's a hardcover. That's the other reason I grabbed it. 1974. And it's a really good condition little hardcover. It's about a young woman who goes to Japan to be with the man she loves. He's not Japanese. None of the main characters are Japanese. And I'm sure this book is going to make me clutch my modern day liberal pearls a few times. But you know what? It came from a specific time, and I will just go for it for what it is and see if it's any good. And I skimmed this one a little bit before I bought it, and the writing is actually quite good. So, who knows? So now we're looking at some newer books or brand new copies. So these aren't used. I grabbed Frida McFadden's The Teacher. It sounded interesting. I liked The Housemaid. This one sounds like it's a big scandal about a student claiming that a teacher and her had an inappropriate relationship, but it may not have been that way. There's always going to be twists and turns when it's Frida McFadden. So, yeah. Looking forward to that one. And then I grabbed my Office Book Club book, which I have not read yet. And I am a bad Office Book Club member because I need to read it. I'm a month behind. Karen Slaughter's Pretty Girls, which is about two sisters who realize that one of their husbands is not who he says he is. And it ties to some old cases that have affected them in the past. I've tried reading Karen Slaughter in the past, and she is a great writer. Do not get me wrong. But her books are intense and can be very gory and very dark. And this one is no exception from what I've read so far. But I got the special edition because it was like $10. So it's like, hell yes. I don't own anything with sprayed edges, so cool. And I'm looking forward to digging into this more. I know my coworker who has been reading it, who is being a good member of the book club, has been enjoying it a lot. So, and she and I have pretty close tastes. So I'm hoping it's good. The last one is actually a reprint of an old book. And I have an original copy, but it is falling apart, and I don't want to attempt to read it, so I don't want it to fall apart. So I got Andrew Niederman's Pin. This was the book that he wrote before he started writing as V.C. Andrews. This is, or it was around the same time, and it's about a brother and sister who have a very unhealthy relationship with a medical anatomical doll named Pin. And things do not go well for the family. I think this plays a little more like a V.C. Andrews book than a straight horror book, but I don't care. I'm looking forward to it. Now, this does not have step back art, but it does include what the original step back art looked like. Now, this was originally in color. I think this is a print-on-demand copy. Yeah, print-on-demand. When you see that on the back, that usually means it's print-on-demand, but it's a solid copy. I'm actually impressed. This is like a pretty solid print-on-demand book, so cool. And that is everything I have bought. Holy crap. Holy crap. So many books. And now I get to read all of them, and I cannot wait. I don't expect book hauls to be a regular feature on here, mainly because I don't normally just go nuts and buy this many books. I don't know what it was in my head that made me go, hey, shop, shop, shop. But I did, and now I have all these. Hopefully you enjoyed going through them with me. Hopefully. If not, I didn't even say this. The House Called Sakura is by Katrina Britt. I've been trying to say the author's names. I don't know. I've never done this before. Give me a break. All right. This video has gone. Sorry for the pouty face. This video has gone on long enough. Why don't we wrap this up? So yeah, again, thank you, Matt, for sending this. I have two of the best friends in the world. Hopefully one day you will see my other best friend, because she is working on starting her own YouTube channel. I want to get her on here because we have a lot of great memories of talking about trashy stuff. So, I am lucky in that regard. So Matt, thank you for this. And for all the other books, hopefully I have a good time reading them. And if sometimes some of them might show up on the channel, some of them might not. So we'll see. But general housekeeping to wrap everything up. All right, new videos are posted every Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. This one was probably going to be posted on a special date, like a Wednesday. My new episodes special episodes that I tend to post on Wednesday, I try to do it more sparingly. But sometimes I just want to shove an episode in because I don't want to wait for it to get out. And if you liked what you saw during the video, give me a like. Makes me feel good and it helps the channel, and I can always use more subscribers, so subscribe. All right, guys. As I always say, love what you love. Enjoy what you're reading and watching. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.